welcome back to the channel, and continuing on with the E30, which is probably the worst one I've ever come across probably. Now I've dug into it, so obviously I've done one side, and there's still other bits to do on the other side. I will do like there's going to be just a ton of tiny little pieces which I'm going to go round, tidying up, tiny little bits of plating and stuff like that. But I've rolled it over to the other side now, and it's one of those, I don't even know where to start again. So it is going to be a case of we're just going to have to start. And so this lower piece here, this is all crusty, lovely. Ow. And I've done that on the other side, just rebuild it in small little pieces here. And then the seal is beaten in on this one, but I think because of the damage on the other side of this, which I could probably show you. Yeah, so in there there's all sorts of different rust and holes, and in the far corner obviously you can see the floor, and the bulkhead, which is going to need doing shortly. But I have got, and I ordered it today, a small little English wheel, so I bought myself a stretching and shrinking tool, and I've used that, and it's quite good actually, that is. And what else did I buy? I bought a bead roller, didn't I? I got the bead roller, and I've had a bit of a fanny around with that on the rear valance panel, and that kind of worked, so I'm quite happy with that. So I've got an English wheel. I've been meaning to get myself one for years, so we got one coming. Hopefully it'll be here in the next couple of days, and I can make, what I'm planning on doing is this bit right here on the inner arch. This bit has got shape this way and that way, so I'm going to try and, well, this is quite rusty on the inside, it's quite crusty. I'll probably push that and break that, so I'm going to try and make this piece just here. So, but this needs repairing on the inside of this, so I think we chuck the new seal over the top of it. I'll scribe the lines into it. We might have to dress this down with the hammer so it sits better, so I can get the new seal to sit over it nicely, and then we're just going to hack that off, because then that opens up all the repair on the inside of this and the inner piece on this lower section just here. So yeah, although this will only take minutes for you, this is going to take me ages. And then obviously we've got this bit to repair as well on this side. This is a lot more crustier, this one on this side. I'm hoping the inner of this section is not as bad as the other side, but it does feel like there's weld there. I haven't got the torch up in there to have a look to see if there's other pieces, but we will get to that. But I think I'm going to get the hammer out, do some dressing, get the new seal over this, and then get on with that. Just dress a little bit more of that down. Right, there's a little bit there I think I'm going to have to grind off, but we can offer the seal up and then see what's going on. Might go and get, so I went to a show the weekend up at the NEC, and just having a look around. It was a practical classic show, and I picked up loads of tiny little mole grips and that, so I can just mole grip this into place, because it feels like it sits down okay, and then we can scribe a line onto it. So these are my baby little mole grips, and that will go on. Just sit high for some reason. Oh, it's a bulge. Right. Okay, hopefully that's addressed. So now that sits better. So I find something to just scribe along that, and then we could start cutting that off. Well, it's definitely not as crusty as the other side. It is different in places, like there's more of this lower panel left, which I kind of guessed on the other side. But this bit's rusty, so I just need to remove all that and then we have to rebuild that bit first. So I'll carry on cutting and then we'll unpick this top bit with all the spot welds. And similar down the bottom with the spot welds I can see, but this is definitely a lot cleaner in here. This bit's just as bad as that side, but that bit is definitely better. So let's carry on cutting. Righty ho, so cut that bit off and now I'm going to start drilling out the spot welds. This will take forever, but for you it will take minutes. Ready. Right. I need to get this bit out of the way because I can't get to those spot welds because the drill I've got is only short, so if I can get this bit out of the way. So I've drilled off those spot welds. See if I can get it to go that way. Right, so before the seal goes on, I need to cut this mess out. I got a bit excited the other day with the wire wheel, and then you can see what I've exposed up here, but I want to do this area first and then repair this, and then I can get the seal on. And a bit of a foobar here. This is the old line what lets the water out the sunroof, and I've hacked halfway through it. But it is what it is. We'll see if I can come up with something to repair that in a minute. So what I have noticed where I've cleaned it all off, this panel here lips down, so I want to try and cut this bit out here, saving this lower piece, and there's shape there, then I don't have to worry about it, but I can draw a line up, hopefully. So that would have come, I reckon, like that. So that piece would have been one panel. So I should be able to cut that and that out of there, redo a piece to there, and then I can hack this bit out along here. Let's get the grinder out, cut some bits out, and then make some new pieces. God, I don't think I've got much metal left, but let's go and see what we've got, see what we can do here. Make that piece. We've got to start somewhere anyway, and then see. I might have to make that bit separately, or because I've got some new bits of equipment now, I might be able to do it more in one piece. So we've got this bit as a rough guide, haven't we? So you can. Oh, it's terrible. Right, so I've cut a small small piece of metal to redo this piece. And I've marked up the return here, which is that way, so I'm going to go and fold that 90 degrees in my folder. And then we have the old do I need to shrink it? Well, but I could fold it and cut it because it's going to change shape there, isn't it? Yeah, so I only need to fold that and bring that there and then peel the other bit up, so I don't need to use the shrinking machine. So let's fold that, work out where that needs to be nipped off, and bring that back, work out where the radius starts, and then we can just peel that round on a bit of tube. So let's go and fold that. Right, so that's all clamped up. Put my line on my centre line, and I want a tight radius on this one, so that is quite close. So we're just going to go to 90 degrees on this one. There you go, good enough by eye. Back to the car. Open the share. We need to cut this bit off, and then we can then roll this piece round. This is my tiny little English wheel which has turned up, so I've just made a little area up there amongst the mess, so we're going to unbox this and then see if we can have a go at using it. It's a little bit of shape in that front bit I'm just doing, so this would be the time to just have a, even though I reckon I could get away with not using this, but it's here, and let's see what we can do with it. Well, that's the bulk of it, so I'll put this together on the bench and then we'll cut some material and have a whirl with this. Okay, so the radius starts there. It's got to be somewhere there then, isn't it? So now I'm just gonna, I've got the bit of tube I knocked out the other week, and I think I can just pull it over it lightly rather than like kind of pressing it. So we'll just see if we can roll that round. It's not much of a radius, so let's go and do that. So that's the shape we need to achieve. Bit different. I suppose we could always run it through. I swear that flattens it. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Anyway, I need to learn how to use that though. Right, it's going off with that up against the car. Not bad. Alright, so we need to mark up there, mark around that, and that's that cut out. That bit then can get tacked on. I don't know how, well, I think I'm just going to dress this tiny bit in and out, and I think that'll be alright, because I'm not getting that little shape into it there, and I don't know how to do it. But I think that will be fine. So that bit's almost there. We've got that to finish off, but this piece will then go on there, overlapping, and I've got to try and make some shapes out of that. So that is not bad where it is there, but we need a bit of curving. Now, is this the time I try and use the wheel to try and get some shape in this? So that is, from there to there is quite flat, and we want to be, let's do it along. I'm trying to be overlapping like yay, so then that looks stock when you look underneath it. Right, let's go and see what we can do. I don't have to trim that bit off. I'll trim a bit of it off, I suppose. I'll go and trim a bit of that off because there's no point trying to shape more material than I don't need to. I don't think you need, oh, we'll do all that on there for a bit of green. So, again, so it's that one. Right. Right, I need to put a tiny bit of shape in there. Right, I'm just going to cut some of this out and see if I can manipulate it in shape while it's on there. So it actually might be easier to shape the smaller bit of material rather than trying to shape a bigger bit. I mean, we could be going about it the wrong way. So that would go there. That needs dressing out. So go and donk that. Right, I'm going to give that a scrub up, clean up with the grinder, and then, not sure. I've got to obviously make a new piece to go in there, and that's going to have to be done up to there, or back to there actually, so I can fold this piece. Oh, don't know, could do one bit to there with overhang and then carry on, but let's clean this bit up and then I'll have a think about what I'm going to do next. Right, I'll say the last time I did this I made a little pattern of this, but I'm going to just try and nibble this out and then hopefully I've kept enough material so I can keep the shape. I'm going to have to make that piece in one and then a small piece there in that bit and then I think from there to here I'll make that bit in one piece as well. So it'll be two pieces, but there's a slight little bit of shape here which and it's rotten to about there, but straight there, so I'm going to get that bit, or could I? I'm not sure. I haven't got much material left, so if I've got enough material to make that up in one piece, so I'll grab a bit what I've got. So I have more than slightly more than I thought. So there is just enough to make that in one piece. Right, so that is the piece we've got to replicate. It's quite a lazy bend, so and that's the second bit. Probably do this round the wrong way, but it doesn't matter. I'm sure we can get it. Right, so quickly folded this up. It's not too bad. There's a little bit there I need to sort out, but I want to get another mark on it and see if I can get it a bit closer. Right, poked a load of holes in. Hopefully I've got it in the right place this time. So give them a bit of a clean off. So I put one of the holes up here is going into this cavity. So it's something I'm going to have to fill up now, but no big deal, we can do that. Oh God, nothing's going very well this evening. Right, I think I need to get the welder fired up, get a couple of tacks on this, and then just push things around, pull things about, and then hopefully, then we've just got that little piece to make there, and that's that bit done. So, fire the welder up. So, quick trick, if you've got a gap, which I've got a bit here, bit of aluminium, hold it up underneath your join. But it doesn't stick. Oh dear, right, I'm going to give it a clean. I'm not quite happy with this bit, but it is what it is. Right, I'll give this a scrub up. So I need to make a patch for here, cut all this bit out. That was my fault. I don't know how I did that, but I've done that. I've got to repair this bit here, that bit there, and then we can get on with giving this a coat of like rust percent paint. Get all this painted up under here, and then hopefully that goes well tonight, and then tomorrow evening I can get this outer on, and then that'll be it for this week. But so let's make up a few pieces and see if I can just dress that out. I've got a couple of bits now to dolly round, so let's find a bit of scrap and cut that bit out. Right, I'm going to go and chop all that out and then see if we can dress that bit into that kind of shape. Not sure if I can do that, but we're going to have a whirl anyway. If not, I can cut it off and make something like that. So no one's going to see this, so who cares? Right, so that was the rough little bit I marked out, and then I was thinking to myself, right, how can I get that shape, because I need to curve that over and come up with that. So I'm going to clamp that in there on that, and then see if we can dress that over and see what shape, see if we can get that to go around that. Right, so that's the bit I've just smashed around that socket. It's not too bad. I should have left a bit of material there, but we get that bit cut in, repaired, and then I'll just fill that bit up with a little bit of something else. So I've marked a couple of little bits I want to trim off. Right, I've hacked that bit out. Right, I found that bit already kind of folded. It's right kind of shape. It's a little bit thicker, and this material here is actually a little bit thicker. So if I whip this bit out, and then we'll get that gobbed in there. Oh dear. Right, I'll give that a bit of a scrub off. It was all welded, so now we'll make a piece to go in there. Cut it slightly oversized and then peel those edges down. That has got that in it. I'm not overly fussed by getting that little bit back in it, as long as I've built this corner back up. I could even fold it down and then attach it to that, so maybe I just go a little bit wider. Cut that a little bit bigger. Right, I'm going to go and snip that out, dress the edges, and then see what we can do here, fit that back on. Well, that's a little bit I've just dressed up, so we're going to lose that edge. You could weld something on there if you want, but no one's going to see it, so I'm not that fast. So we'll mark around that. cut that bit out, so I've got some nice clean to work with. So after last night, so I painted all this up with some like anti-rusty stuff, so now it's time to get on and I can use me punch tool, punch a load of holes in the side of this. It doesn't go round the lip on that because all it's going to do is crush the lip what's on there, so that is, I'm going to have to drill that by hand, you know, with the cordless. So, but this time, I'm going to, you still use this, but I'm going to open this side up. Because on the other side I noticed that a few of them hadn't really bonded that well, so, and then I went along the top and just put stitches along the top just to make me happy that it's on there well. So this side I'm going to punch them out, I'm going to open them up a little bit and then have to drill them by hand, give it one final mark up, and where I've painted all over this time, I'm just going to mark where my spot welds come through all the way along here and just clean off the paint. And I have bought a new tool today, so we get that out of the box later and try that for cleaning up. So get on with punching these holes in and then get this seal on. Right, so that's all drilled off. So like I said, I want to get this on, get it roughly lined up, and then I want to mark through my holes with a pen, and I'm going to go and get the new tool out, and then we can clean off the area where it's actually going to get welded, and hopefully that will be a better job. We'll take this off. I'll see all my little marks, put that out of the way. So this is the new tool. I think is this called a finger sander? I don't exactly know, but it should help me get into some of the areas a bit better. So I'm just going to clean off where the spot welds are. I'll do a little bit along there, which I didn't mark because I'm an idiot. So clean off a bit of paint down there where that's got to go. And I think just before it goes back up, I just want to trim that little bit there. I might be able to sand it out of the way actually, but so I'll have a go at that. So I was going to whiz through, clean these bits up, and anywhere else where there's paint, because it's a pain in the arse. So let's have a go. Right, I've had to revert back to my phone for filming because my storage is all buggered up again on my camera, so I hope that the quality is still alright, but oh, I've missed two bits. Right, where's the bloody grinder? I'll whip them off with the grinder. Well, that was probably just as easy to use that than it was that new machine. So, but I'm sure that will come in handy in some of the nooks and crannies you can get into. Like the other grinder I've got's got a longer, thinner head on it. So I've got one grinder like that and one like that. So these are different, and that actually it never came into its own until a couple of jobs on this car, and then I managed to get in just that little bit closer and a little bit tighter because it's slimmer. So yeah, having two is pretty good really, but let's get on with getting this seal on. So just clean those two bits out. There's no more black spots, no more black spots. So let's get that on. Alright, so here we are. This is all welded and like the spot welds welded on. All the way along. So this bit is not, it's not fully done along here. There is a few bits to do, but we've got to cut a big section off of this, so I can leave this. But yeah, so we've gone along. So all I'm going to do now to finish off is clean this up so it looks more original. Like flush all these down, and that will be pretty much it. Right, so here we are. This is all cleaned up now around there. There's a tiny bit more fluffing to do in there, but all like the spot welds are cleaned up. There's a tiny bit there to do, but I can come back to this. So this is all done. So that is quite happy with that. So what we did this week is I repaired this section, this section, this section. Oh, there's a tiny little piece inside there. We do have to get in here at some point in the next week and do some of this. But I think I might do a bit of this and then do the main chunk at the back again and then concentrate on doing all the bulkhead, because there's certain bits I could do, just cleaning up here. There's a hole here, obviously. So that lower piece there, just round there. So I get this plastic out of the way, 'cause it's still on there. But yeah, but if there's anything you want to kind of know more about what I'm bodging, or how I do things, then just comment. And I'll see if I can incorporate that into the next video. Or yes, there's probably stuff I'm doing wrong. I've no doubt there is. But this is the way I do things, and this is the way I've taught myself to do bits. So this will be here, the next bit what goes on. And then, like I did on the other side, we sorted this load of crust out. I don't really want to poke it too much. I don't know why, it's just, you know, it is, it's terrible. But it's not, this bit's worse, but I'm hoping this bit under here doesn't go back as far, but I'm pretty sure it has been repaired before, so I'll probably have to do the same on this section here as what I did on the other side. Put the new piece in and then just infill the gap. So remember, like and subscribe, and I will catch you hopefully next week.